Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here at Book Blather. If you're new here, I'm Dave, this is Olive, and we try to have a little fun while we talk about books and occasionally some other things to help spread the joy of reading. So today we're going to be talking about, I think, a quick video, but I always say that. Sometimes they turn out to be not so quick, but I think it will be. We're just going to talk a little bit about the books that we are reading in January. So as mentioned a lot in our last video, lots of changes as we enter 2024, and this is one of them. We don't historically talk about our TBRs or the books we're going to be reading in a month because of our lack of commitment, but that is something that we're changing. You want to sit? Where do you want to sit? Do you want to? Where do you want to sit? I don't know. So anyway, sometimes people want to read along with you that month, and so we're going to discuss the different things that we're reading in January. So the all of these we're actually already reading. So there's a problem that we have, but it won't be a problem this month. That'll become clear in a minute. So the first one that we're reading is Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar. These, if you've been around a while, you know we're really into Tarzan, and this is something that we are buddy reading with Dia over at Novel Idea. We have been buddy reading the Tarzan books. We started that in 2023. And we're continuing on. This is the fifth book in the series. It's called The Jewels and the Jewels of Opar because Opar is a lost city that we saw in book 2. And in this one, Tarzan is returning to that lost city. We have decided to, we had a Tarzan video where we mentioned we've decided to try to collect as many of these as we can in these old Ace science fiction classic books. They have these wonderful covers by Frank Frazetta. And they have some nice illustrations on the inside. So that is what we are about a third of the way through this one so far. It's not that long a book, but okay. The next one we're doing is another buddy read, and this is Rebirth by John Wyndham. This is not quite as old as the Tarzan book, which is 100 years old almost. So this was published in the 1950s, and this is more commonly known as The Chrysalids. The Chrysalids, it was a UK book. So when they published it then in America, they renamed it, I don't know why, Rebirth. And so, we got this old vintage cover. We were a little annoyed because as soon as we started reading it, literally started falling apart. Pages started literally falling out on us. So that was kind of frustrating. But this is a group read that we are doing with Scott and Becky over at the Bookish Bryants, Brandy at Booklectic, and Brian from Brian MR. So we're about halfway through this already, and so enjoying this. This is a science fiction book that is set in the way future after what appears to be, basically society is reset. It was probably a nuclear holocaust, and we're following a small civilization up in northeastern Canada that I guess maybe escaped some of the devastation, and it deals with people that have the highly religious society and people that have been there's a lot of people that are mutated that are not accepted. So a lot of exploration of prejudice, religion and prejudice in this science fiction novel. So, okay, and so so the next one is which we are also, I guess we're about almost halfway through this one. This is Oath and Honor by Liz Cheney. I will say we just mentioned this book and we were talking about our Christmas haul because my daughter got me this for Christmas, and so this is a political book, and so we just did a video about all the changes that we are going to be making to the channel in 2024, and one of the critical things that I was really upset with myself that I forgot to mention is that we made a conscious decision that we are no longer going to avoid controversial topics. That's something we were very, very strict with before. We tried to never touch on any matters of religion or politics or anything like that. We tried never to discuss those things because we don't want to upset people, and we didn't want to get into anything controversial. And we came to, we thought about it. Olive and I had some long discussions about it. We thought about it long and hard, and we decided that, that's we don't want to do it that way anymore, because we think the whole point of having a booktube channel is to have some intellectual discourse about things. And often with a lot of these books, like this one I just talked about, the science fiction book, we're reading a book of fiction and we're trying to pull out, these different messages, and the philosophy and just the different sort of messages behind it, and all the subtext and the things, the issues that they're exploring. And we always talk about these things in the context of fiction, but those things don't just happen in fiction, right? They happen in real life, and there's no reason we shouldn't be able to talk about nonfiction books that are also dealing with these issues. And if people get upset and they don't want to watch us anymore, then that's okay. But the whole point of discussing these, or a big point of discussing these books, is so we can have intellectual discussions about things. So this book is a political book, which we will be talking about when we finish it. Liz Cheney, for people that may be outside of the U.S., or probably even a lot of people in the U.S. that don't know who Liz Cheney is, she is a politician, was a high-ranking politician in the same party as Donald Trump, and basically somewhat went to war with Donald Trump after our January 6, 2021 violent attack on our U.S. Capitol. And so this is somewhat of a memoir, somewhat of a warning. And so my daughter and I had a discussion about it, and so she got it for me for Christmas. So, okay, the next one is Dracula by Bram Stoker. And so there were a couple books that we were reading right before December started, and when December started, we put those things on hold because we wanted to read only Christmas-themed things in December, and we were doing our fireside readings, and so we with the thought that we would pick the stuff back up as soon as January started. So Dracula is one of those. We are not that far into it yet because we started this right before December started, and enjoying it so far, but this, I think everybody knows what Dracula is, so I don't need to explain it. But yeah, so we're picking this back up now that December's over. And finally, this is The Doors of Eden by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So we have been really getting into Tchaikovsky the last 2 years. We've read a number of his books. We really enjoy him. Primarily a science fiction author, although he did write a very long fantasy series as well. And so he's the author of Children of Time, which a lot of people have heard of. So this is separate. This is a standalone book, and this is about. I'll talk about it more when we're done reading it. But basically, this is about the multiverse, and multiple different forms of Earth. Really cool because there's some really significant little outtake speculative pieces in this. But we'll talk about more of that when we finish the book. So we're about halfway through this as well. So those are the 5 things right now that we're reading in January. I have a feeling we might actually get to more because we're actually, as a group, we're already so far into these collectively. So we're doing pretty well so far, and so there might be something else, but we'll let you guys know if and when we pick up something else, or are going to pick up something else in this month. So okay, so that's it for today. We just wanted to tell you guys about the books that all of which we are currently reading in the month of January. It's Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar, Rebirth, otherwise known as The Chrysalids by John Wyndham, Oath and Honor by Liz Cheney, Dracula by Bram Stoker, and The Doors of Eden by Adrian Tchaikovsky. If you have read any of these and have any comments about them, as always, we would love to hear it. And if you don't want to leave anything substantive, of course, you can always leave Olive a puppy emoji because she does always like to see those. Right, sweetie? Yeah. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. We'll see you very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.